From being considered the best player in the Premier League,
I think this season for Foden, we know he's brilliant. I think it's been a breakout season in some ways where it almost feels like he's one of the main players.
to becoming one of the most out-of-form players. From being considered the Stockport Messi to looking like Stockport Garnacho. From scoring for fun to barely scoring at all, Phil Foden's journey at City has been a story on its own. Foden was City's golden boy, the academy kid who helped them become Premier League champions.
He just feels central to everything Man City are doing.
Someone who was a nailed-on starter. But the 2025 season was a direct contrast to the magic we had seen from him in the previous seasons. His confidence was shattered, and he looked lost. What the hell happened to Phil Foden? In 2024, Foden was the best player in England. Don't let anyone try to gaslight you. He had 27 goals and 13 assists in all competitions. 19 goals just in the Premier League. It was his masterpiece. If there was ever a year where he showed just how good he could be, this was it. It all started when KDB got injured early in the campaign. It was a big blow, but instead of panicking, Pep made a bold move. He handed more responsibility to Foden, pushing him into more central attacking spaces. And from that moment, Foden didn't just step up, he took over. In the Premier League, he picked up 3 assists in 3 games, helping City beat Newcastle, Sheffield, and Fulham. After showing his playmaking side, he began to show just how lethal he was as a goal scorer as well. He picked up goals against United, Bournemouth, Spurs, and Everton. Then to wrap up the calendar year, he got a goal and assist in the Club World Cup final against Fluminense. He actually became the first Englishman to score in a Club World Cup final since Wayne Rooney in 2008. He was playing with confidence, he had flair. You could see it in every one of his touches. By February, he exploded again, scoring a hat-trick in a 3-1 win over Brentford. And just a couple of months later, he did it again. Another hat-trick, this time against Aston Villa in the business end of the season, when City needed him the most in the title race. That game also gave us another first, Foden's first ever free kick goal.
It's Foden, and it's in! Phil Foden gives City the lead!
Then came Europe. In the Champions League quarterfinal against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, on the biggest stage, Foden delivered once again. He scored a stunning goal in a 3-3 draw, continuing a run of scoring in 5 straight Champions League starts. Only one other English player had ever done that before, and that was Steven Gerrard.
Man City have gone from the David Silva era. Let's say David Silva was the main player, and the team then morphed into Kevin De Bruyne's team. I actually think we're now morphing from the Kevin De Bruyne team into the Phil Foden team.
The Carragher clip made a lot of sense, especially since Kevin De Bruyne had also scored a worldie for City in that exact stadium. It really felt like a passing of the torch moment. At this point, Foden was in peak form. It felt like every week he was doing something special. Everybody already knew he was talented, but now he was single-handedly deciding matches. In March, he had scored twice against United in the derby. Even Pep couldn't hold back and said that Foden was the player of the season.
That's what it is. He's the player of the season.
By May, the whole world agreed. Foden was named the Football Writers' Footballer of the Year, the Premier League Player of the Season, and later, the PFA Players Player of the Year. These weren't just fan awards. His fellow players, coaches, and journalists all picked him as the very best. That's how good he was. Then came the perfect ending. On the final day of the season, with the Premier League title on the line, Foden scored twice against West Ham to help City win 3-1 and clinch their 4th league title in a row. In contrast to previous Premier League titles, in this one, Foden was at the heart of it all. He had been Man City's best player, and with that win, he became the youngest player ever to win 6 Premier League titles. City fans even voted him their player of the year too, and why wouldn't they? He was unstoppable. Every time City needed a moment of magic, he was there. Whether it was a clever dribble in the box, a curling shot into the top corner, or a pass that split the defense open like Bonnie Blue, he was there. The thing is, the season wasn't just a good one, it was proof that Foden had arrived at the very top. For many, he had elevated himself above the other top talented Englishmen in the Premier League. He was no longer this young promising talent or someone that could be good in the future. He was the present. He was already an established player in the Premier League, the very best that season. It was the year that Stockport Messi truly became world class, and everything was falling into place. Yet after reaching the highest of highs, Foden began to experience the lowest of lows. Nobody could have seen this coming, and the problem started right away, essentially as soon as the season ended. Foden had barely caught his breath from lifting the Premier League trophy when he was called up for England's Euro 2024 campaign. He played in every single match as England went all the way to the final, yet he didn't have one standout performance. Despite how good his domestic form had been, his performances for England did not match. People complained that he was being played out of position, but to be honest, I saw Gareth Southgate use him on the left, use him through the middle. It didn't matter which position he played in. He just wasn't the same. Some people still blame Southgate and his defensive system. They felt like it was the manager's job to get the best out of Foden, especially after the season he just had in the Premier League. Others felt that he was simply fatigued from the exhausting season he just had. But at this point, not too many people were worried about Foden's dip in form. After all, besides a few moments at the 2022 World Cup, Foden had never been spectacular for England. He rarely, if ever, imposed himself in big games the way he had done for Man City. At club level, he was a game changer. At the international level, he was just a passenger. So after a long, exhausting summer, Foden returned to Manchester in August. But from the get-go, there were signs that he wasn't the same. Before the season had even begun, there were whispers that something wasn't right. Foden missed a few early games with an unknown illness, and people close to the club said that he looked mentally drained. One report even said that his brain had become foggy during training. That spark he had, that was so sharp, so bright the year before, was already starting to fade, and the season had barely begun. When he did get back on the pitch, it was clear this was not the Phil Foden everyone knew. The touches weren't as clean, his decisions weren't quick, he was barely able to beat the guy in front of him. He wasn't running at defenders or even looking to make things happen. He was just there. He was doing cardio. He got 11 goals and 7 assists in all competitions, which would be a solid season for most players. A historic season for someone like Højlund. But for Foden, after scoring 27 goals the year before, this was a massive drop-off. Especially when you consider that out of his 11 goals, the bulk of them came in just one purple patch in January. He scored against West Ham, scored twice against Brentford, and got 2 goals and an assist against Ipswich, then scored against Chelsea. Many people thought that he was actually back. This was the Foden that everyone saw in 2024. But after that game against Chelsea, he didn't get a single goal or assist for the rest of the Premier League. Like, think about that. This guy was the Premier League player of the year, yet he went like 6 months in the league without a single goal contribution. He revealed at the back end of the season that he was struggling with things off the pitch. He didn't explain exactly what he was going through, and to be honest, he didn't have to. From his words alone and his body language, it was clear he was dealing with something personal. This was more than just missed chances or drop points. This was a young man clearly fighting to hold it all together. It made sense that something was happening behind the scenes, because you don't just lose your footballing abilities overnight like that. Then on the pitch, he also had to deal with an injury. In April, Foden went down after a tackle from Casemiro. The diagnosis? Ankle ligament damage. Foden pushed himself to play through, but it was obvious that he wasn't at 100%. He was hurt both physically and mentally, and it showed. His performances dipped further. Everyone could see it. His body language just was different. No more confidence, no more quick feet. The cheeky grin was not there. Opposition fans were now even piling on him too, with United fans going after his mother. Some reports even said that his teammates were privately worried about him. Then came the FA Cup final in May, a game that City was supposed to win. Foden, who a year earlier might have been the match winner, was actually on the bench. Pep only brought him on with 15 minutes to go. He barely touched the ball. And City, they lost to Crystal Palace. 12 months before this, he had been lifting the Premier League title as the best player in the league. Now he had been a non-factor in a final where he lost to a team that was in the lower half of the table. It also definitely didn't help Foden that the rest of the team also underperformed. Foden wasn't the only player on the Manchester City squad that was playing bad. The Rodri injury hurt the whole team. There was no balance. In 2024, Rodri's presence allowed Foden to have the freedom to do whatever he wanted in the attacking third. The Spaniard provided a layer of protection in front of the back line like a condom, and he was able to break the lines in possession, finding Foden in space. After all, guys, there's a reason the man won the Ballon d'Or. Without him, the team just didn't tick. And for Foden, everything needs to be perfect to get the best out of him. I'm a huge fan, but he is a bit of a systems player. People think that's an insult, but it's not. The guy has been nurtured and developed specifically for Pep City. There is a reason that even at his best, he couldn't replicate his club form for England. He is just custom made for the way that Pep wants to play, which shouldn't be surprising given he rose through the academy during the Pep era. The Spaniard has been nurturing him and preparing him for literally years. He's moving like Diddy. In the beginning, Pep never rushed him into the squad, but patiently gave him minutes in cup games and off the bench in the league, letting him learn from David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. In 2018, Foden became the youngest ever Premier League medal winner. When David Silva left, Foden had his true breakthrough. Look at how good he played against Dortmund in the Champions League. Then he was named the PFA Young Player of the Year. By 21 years old, Foden had already won 3 Premier League titles with City and established himself as one of the brightest young players in the world. In the 2022 season, he scored 14 league goals, helping City become champions again, and was named the Premier League Young Player of the Season. By the time the 2023 season came around, he was already an established player in the team. Even though he was young, he felt like a veteran. That season, City were stacked. They had Haaland scoring for fun, Kevin De Bruyne dominating, and Rodri scoring big goals. So people didn't even notice that Foden had 15 goals. Look at how unstoppable he was against United. I know it's United, so everybody takes their turn raw dogging them, but still. At City, he's in the perfect environment to succeed. It's just that Pep's entire system got messed up after Rodri got injured because they hadn't made the right investments to prepare for the new era. Then there was the simple fact of time. Foden played 69 matches across club and country in the 2023-2024 season. That kind of workload would drain anyone. Add in the long summer with England, off the pitch issues, and an ankle injury, and it's no wonder he hit a wall. Now with rest and recovery behind him, he finally has a chance to start fresh. And the good thing is that City have rebuilt. There is more quality around Foden now. Cherki, Reinders, Nouri. These guys are gonna elevate Foden's game more. On top of that, one bad season doesn't erase everything he's done. Not even close. He's still a very young player. He feels older because he's been around forever, but he still has many years left. He's already won more trophies than most players dream of. He's been crowned the best player in England. Players like that don't just disappear. He will bounce back. We've already seen glimpses of it in June when he returned from Man City's trip to the United States for the FIFA Club World Cup. In just the first match, he scored a goal and set up another. That goal was his first since January. The drought was finally over, and the relief on his face said it all. More than the goals though, he looks different. He looks sharper, he's hungrier. In an interview afterwards, Foden actually said that the hunger inside him is back, and that he wants to prove people wrong. And as always, Pep Guardiola has his back. Even during Foden's slump, Pep never lost faith. He knows how to bring out the best in his players. And with Foden, it's personal. He's watched them go from a skinny academy kid to a star.
It will be important. Of course will be.
That belief from a manager like Pep matters. It's the kind of confidence that helps players find themselves again. The Spaniard has not given up on him, and instead he's building a system that can help Foden shine again. And Foden isn't alone. He's surrounded by world-class players. That level of competition should fuel him, not just because better players around him will elevate his game more, but also the fact that he can't afford to hit another slump. If he doesn't play well, someone like Cherki can easily replace him. But to be honest, he's not at that point to worry about that kind of stuff yet. He's in the right place with the right people. He just has to clear his head and show his abilities once more. And now we get to see the other side of his greatness, the comeback. Because Foden, he's been too accustomed to winning. From the moment he stepped onto the first team, it was title after title. Maybe even subconsciously, he thought it's a given to win every single year. But legends aren't just made from trophies. They're also made from the moments when the world doubts them. True superstars take the criticism and use it as fuel to fight back anyway. His story isn't finished, not even close. And his new teammates are gonna help him out. To see how good this new Man City team is, you have to check out this video right here.